All right, well, no big deal. We'll get it figured out. We will get it sorted out in due time. And now let's see. Am I back live again? Am I back live? Okay, this is still muted. We'll get it fixed. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I see it's picking up my words. Awesome. All right, so nonetheless, back to the story at hand. Thanks for sticking with me, whoever you are. And so I was talking to my friend about certainty and confidence and things along these lines. And he said to me, there's only two things that I'm certain of in life. Now, I aspire to developing more and more certainty in my life because I feel like that's a really, really high ideal to attain. You know, it's like the highest level of manifestation, we could say, like when you're absolutely certain that something's going to happen, like it happens. And I respect that for sure. But he said that there's only two things in this life that I'm absolutely certain of. One is that we're all connected. And two is that God wants me to win. And I just thought that that was such an awesome, awesome conviction to have, like a driving internal operating system that I told him straight up, I'm stealing this. I hope you know that. Because while it's not anything that I would have disbelieved in, I just never really thought about it that way. The first part, yes, we're all connected. That's nice. Not really anything mind-blowing. Of course, when we experience that connection at deeper and deeper levels, it is pretty awesome, right? It's pretty amazing. But this second idea that he put forth, that God wants me to win, to me, that was special. Because that gives me the license to move forward with absolute conviction. And so it removes a great deal of confusion, for instance, about whether or not I can accomplish my goals, whether or not I am on the right path, and whether or not I have the support of the divine behind my aims. My aims are rooted, my purpose is rooted, my vision is rooted. All of these things is rooted in a greater plan and in certain success. Now, does this mean that I'm not going to encounter failure and difficulty? Absolutely not. Those things are certain. Those things are absolutely certain on this path. Going to have difficulty, going to experience pain, right? Going to make mistakes. So none of these are to be feared, right? As I was saying earlier, someone had posted something about courage says that this may hurt, but I'm going to do it anyway. And stupidity also says this may hurt, but I'm going to do it anyway. I thought that was pretty funny, but it occurred to me that wisdom says that it's going to hurt either way. Whether you do the thing or you don't do the thing, it's going to hurt. And so you choose the pain that leads to greatness rather than choosing the pain of regret. I'm going to say that again. Wisdom says it's going to hurt no matter what. Life is pain. Pain is change. If you want change, it's going to be painful. But we all want change. We're all working towards something, or we're working to avoid that pain. And so you can look at your life and realize, like, you're going to experience pain either way. So what do you want to experience? The pain of regret, the pain of victimization, of never reaching your goals, of never even trying and looking back and being like, I could have done that, or feeling like a victim, like, oh, I could have never done that, and life is so unfair. They had it easy. And just the pain of that kind of suffering, of making yourself a victim and blaming the world? Or would you rather experience the pain of, yeah, this is going to be difficult, but you know what? At the end of it, I'll look back and say, I did it. I fucking did it. Or at least I gave it my all. I didn't quit. You know, you look at your life, you got 100 years, and then that's it on this life. Now, whether or not you believe that there's reincarnation or an afterlife doesn't matter. You got 100 years to make it through. Do you want those 100 years to be filled with regret? So that when you get to the end of your life, you look back and you think, what could have been? What could I? Oh man, I should have. Because I can tell you this, if you don't embrace this idea that change is pain and pain is good, and it doesn't matter, I'm going to work towards what I want. I'm going to work towards those dreams no matter what. I'm going to give it my all. And fail, I may, but I will never quit. Because if you live your life that way, you won't be looking back on your life at 80, 90, 100 years old going, man, I wish I would have, and oh, what if? You'll be like, you know what? I put it all on the line. I gave it all. And so that's really the choice that you have ultimately, right? That's the choice that we have. And when we're certain about this, when we're clear on this, it eliminates a lot of confusion about what should I do and what shouldn't I do, about what's important and what's not important. And the clearer we are about what's important and what's not important, the easier our choices become. And the less regret we will encounter and have to live with. Because we're living in accordance with our values, with our purpose and with our mission, with our vision for what we want to bring into this world. You know, Gandhi said, you should be the change that you want to see in this world. How many people are sitting around right now complaining about the way that the world is, but not really doing anything to live another way? They're just succumbing to the way that they see the world and making themselves choiceless victims. It's sort of like the person who's like, you know, I can't stand people who complain. All they do is complain and complain and complain all day long. I hate those people. Oh man, they make me sick. And what are you doing? You're complaining. What are you doing to set an example? Because that's not an example. That's just delusion. Delusion, confusion, these are very, very closely linked. So if you were to truly live your life the way that you want other people to live, the way that you want the world to be, what would you do differently? What changes would you make? What values do you esteem? Really, I invite you to ask yourself these questions. Spend some time contemplating what kind of a life you want to live. Who do you want to become? What do you respect and esteem? What values do you hold up? Courage or victimhood? Again, you're going to suffer pain either way, or I should say experience pain. We have a saying, life is pain, pain is guaranteed, suffering is optional. Because suffering is that added pain that we make up with our stories about the way things should be or shouldn't be and how we're victims. And what all of this means, all the story about what this means, that just adds to the suffering. Like, I got broken up with, so I'll never find love again, or life's just not fair. And that's just added suffering, and we roil in that misery. But you could, just as an alternative, embody courageousness. Commit to your goal. Commit to overcoming. Commit to finding love again. Commit to succeeding in your vision. And then do what is necessary to make that happen. Now, this will require effort. And so it's like you have these choices about how you want to get to your goal, how you want to arrive. A simple example is, so let's say you want to lose 30 pounds. Well, you can change your diet, which is the simplest way to do it. Or you can, and the most healthy, right? Actually, the most obvious and healthy way to do it is to change your diet. Because if you're 30 pounds overweight, it's not by accident. It's because you're eating shitty food and not getting exercise. But actually, exercise is secondary. your food intake is primary. Or you could just pay a doctor $25,000 to stick some fucking shit inside of you and suck out the fat, staple you up. Easy peasy. You don't have to do a thing. But what did you actually gain in that process? What did you accomplish? Did you attain health? No, you just lost some weight. You didn't attain health. Your habits are still going to be there. Your habit of eating shitty food. I mean, I know people who had these gastric bypass operations. They lost a bunch of weight and then they got fat again because they didn't change inside. They just changed the physical, not the mental, not the emotional, not the spiritual. Quick fix. So if they knew what they really wanted, maybe they just wanted to look good, didn't care about actually being healthy. Okay, so hey, at least you're clear on that. But most people don't go that deeply. They just are afraid of looking bad. And they want to be seen because they're afraid of, they want to be seen in a good light because they're afraid of what people might think. And so that's their real aim. You know, they just want the quick fix because they don't care about changing themselves. It's going to require effort. That's going to be difficult. I don't want to do that. I just want the result. Well, hey, if I can snap a finger and you just get the result, that's great. But the problem is, if you haven't changed who you are inside, you are liable to repeat those mistakes, or you're liable to find yourself in an early grave. So better might be to understand what it is that you really want. Get clear on a vision of who you could be. What is your potential? What's possible for you if you were to eliminate those fears, those doubts, that confusion about who you are and what your purpose is? What could you discover for your life? What would that look like? So again, these are all just questions. I invite you to contemplate these things. The more you contemplate and ask yourself these questions, the more you'll get to know who you are. And when you know who you are, it eliminates a lot of confusion. It eliminates a lot of unnecessary pain, and certainly it eliminates the pain of regret. Maybe not entirely, right? Because we're all a work in progress. None of us are perfect. But I would rather suffer the pain of difficulty and striving and overcoming and growing pains versus suffering the pain of regret and remorse for what I could have done, but I failed to do. So with that, I will leave you today. Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate you. I hope that you really think about these things, contemplate these things. Again, write them down. Write down, what are your values? What is your purpose? What do you think you're here for? What could you accomplish in your life if you had no doubts and no fears? And then what would it take? Who would you have to become in order to live your purpose and live your vision? And if you get to the end of your life and you do that and you look back, who do you think you'll be looking back at? And what kind of feeling do you think you'll have inside? Will it be one of pride, of appreciation, of, I did it. I put it all in the line and I have no regrets? Or will it be a life looking back on what could have been, what might have been, if only? So just asking those questions is going to eliminate a lot of confusion for you. And my aim is that that will help you to make better choices, to move forward in your life, and to actually be the change that you want to see in the world. So again, with that, I will leave you. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you, whoever you are out there. And by all means, I invite all comments, questions. Check out my channel, give it a like, and look for more videos, and I'll see you guys real soon.